Have you ever wondered why you call someone your mother, father, brother, or sister? Why do we celebrate birthdays with family? Why do parents protect their children with everything they have? It feels so natural today, but millions of years ago, none of these things existed. The first humans didn't have weddings, homes, or even the idea of a family. So how did strangers become parents? How did children grow up with the same people instead of wandering alone? And what made humans different from almost every other animal on Earth? The answer is one of the most fascinating stories in human history. Stay until the end, because once you understand how the very first families were created, you'll never look at your own family the same way again. Imagine living in a world without cities, roads, schools, or even houses. Everywhere you looked, there were thick forests, huge grasslands, dangerous rivers, and wild animals hiding in the shadows. Every single day was a fight to survive. Ancient humans woke up with one goal: stay alive until sunset. They searched for fruits, dug up roots, hunted animals when they could, and constantly watched for predators. Life was unpredictable, and no one knew what tomorrow would bring. In those earliest days, humans didn't think about creating families. They lived in small groups because being alone was simply too dangerous. A single person could easily become the next meal for a lion, saber-toothed cat, or giant hyena. But a group could watch each other's backs, warn about danger, and work together to find food. These groups weren't families like we know today. They were more like survival teams. As humans slowly evolved, something unusual happened. Human babies were different from the babies of most animals. A newborn human couldn't walk, run, or even feed itself. While a baby deer could stand within hours of being born, a human child needed years of care. This changed everything. Because babies were so helpless, mothers couldn't raise them completely alone. Carrying a child while searching for food or escaping predators was incredibly difficult. Slowly, fathers began staying close to help protect both the mother and the child. Other members of the group also started helping. Grandparents, older siblings, aunts, and uncles, although these names didn't exist yet, became important for keeping children alive. This was one of the biggest turning points in human history. Scientists believe that cooperation became humanity's greatest superpower. Instead of everyone thinking only about themselves, people realized that helping children survive helped the entire group survive. A child who lived long enough would one day become another hunter, gatherer, or protector. Caring for the next generation wasn't just kindness, it was survival. Over thousands of years, humans began forming stronger emotional connections. They didn't simply stay together because they had to. They started caring about one another. They shared food even when they were hungry. They protected injured members instead of leaving them behind. They mourned when someone died. These emotions created trust, and trust created stronger relationships. At some point, men and women also began forming longer-lasting partnerships. Unlike many animals that only stay together briefly, early humans often remained together for much longer. This helped both parents raise children, who needed many years before they could survive on their own. The stronger the bond between parents, the better the chances that their children would grow up healthy and safe. As time passed, children didn't just learn survival by watching. Parents actively started teaching them. They showed them which berries were poisonous, how to make simple stone tools, where to find clean water, and how to avoid dangerous animals. This passing of knowledge from one generation to the next became one of humanity's greatest advantages. Every child started life with the experience of the people before them. Families also created something even more powerful: love. While survival was still the main goal, emotional bonds became stronger with every generation. Parents risked their lives for their children. Children cared for aging parents. Brothers and sisters protected each other. These feelings helped humans build stable groups that lasted much longer than temporary survival teams. Eventually, humans learned to control fire. Suddenly, nights became safer. Families gathered around warm fires after long days of hunting and gathering. They cooked food together, told stories, shared experiences, and strengthened their relationships. Around these fires, language became more advanced. Children learned by listening. Stories became traditions, and traditions became culture. Thousands of years later, humans made another incredible discovery: farming. Instead of constantly moving in search of food, they began growing crops and raising animals. For the first time, people could settle in one place for many years. Permanent homes appeared. Villages slowly grew, and families became even more organized. With permanent homes came new responsibilities. Parents built shelters, stored food, and protected their land. Children helped with farming, collecting water, caring for animals, and learning important skills. Entire generations often lived together under one roof. Grandparents shared wisdom. Parents worked. Children learned. Family became the center of everyday life. As societies became larger, traditions also became more important. Different cultures created ceremonies, rules, and eventually marriage. Marriage wasn't just about love. It helped create stable homes where children could grow safely. Every civilization developed its own customs, but the main purpose remained the same: protecting families and ensuring the next generation survived. Interestingly, humans are one of the few species where grandparents play such an important role. Even after raising their own children, grandparents often help care for grandchildren. Scientists believe this gave human families an even greater survival advantage because children received knowledge and protection from multiple generations. Over thousands of years, families became much more than survival groups. They became places where people found comfort during hard times, celebrated joyful moments, and shared memories that lasted for generations. Families passed down languages, traditions, music, recipes, beliefs, and stories. Without families, human civilization might never have reached where it is today. Today, we often take our families for granted. We argue with our parents, tease our siblings, or forget to appreciate the people who care about us. But if you could travel back hundreds of thousands of years, you'd see just how incredible the idea of family really is. It wasn't created overnight. It evolved through countless struggles, sacrifices, and acts of cooperation that helped our ancestors survive one of the harshest worlds imaginable. The next time you sit around a dinner table, celebrate a birthday, or simply talk with your family, remember that you're continuing a tradition that began hundreds of thousands of years ago. Every hug, every meal, every story, and every shared laugh is part of one of the oldest human traditions ever created. If you enjoyed discovering how the very first human families began, imagine how many other incredible stories from our past are still waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe to the Explainly for more fascinating videos that reveal the hidden history behind everyday life, science, and the world around us. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who loves history, and tell us in the comments, what do you think was the most important reason humans started living as families? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Explainly.